Yo, what is up everybody, Z-Karma here, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Today, I bring you guys one of the most insane farming videos that I have ever done and probably ever will. In this video, I will show you guys the loot that I got after farming Wotan 200 times on Mayhem 4. So before I get into this video, if you guys find it helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, a like rating will be greatly appreciated, and if you want to subscribe for more content, that will be awesome as well. So anyways, out of those 200 kills, 100 were done before the Farming Frenzy event, and the second set of 100 were done during the Farming Frenzy event. And this video will serve as a comparison between the two. We will take a look at the drop rates, anointed drop rates, and dedicated drop rates for each set of 100 kills. And the data that I collected for each set contains the following: the number of world drops, the number of anointed world drops, and the number of class mods within those world drops. We also got the number of dedicated drops and the number of anointed. And finally, we got the number of Mayhem 4 drops and the number of anointed. So once I reveal the results for each set, we will take a look at these results side by side and do a comparison of the two. It will just be a very quick comparison of the drop rates and see how much of an increase there actually was. After we are done comparing the two, I will solely focus on the 100 kills that were done during the Farming Frenzy event and go more into detail on those results. After that, I will show you the amounts of each dedicated drop that I got during the event and showcase some of the nice loot that I was able to grab for myself during this event. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the results. So after 100 kills of Wotan on Mayhem 4 before the Farming Frenzy event, I had 843 world drops with 134 anointed and 70 class mods. I also got 49 dedicated drops with 17 anointed and 3 Mayhem 4 exclusive drops with 0 anointed. And during the Farming Frenzy event, after 100 Mayhem 4 kills, I got 928 world drops, 421 of those were anointed, and 98 were class mods. We also got 92 dedicated drops, and 42 of those were anointed. And finally, I got 6 Mayhem 4 drops with 2 anointed. So first, let's go ahead and discuss world drops. As you can see, there is a clear increase in both world drops and anointed drop rates. The total world drops increased by 10% during the event, which is actually not that much, especially when the increase of drops per kill is less than 1. As for the anointed world drops, the event actually tripled the anointed rate for this farm, and that clearly indicates an increase in anointed rates. So now let's talk about the dedicated drops. During the event, we see an 88% increase in dedicated drops compared to previously. The event almost doubled the drop rates, and there was also a significant increase in the anointed rates for dedicated drops. As for the Mayhem 4 drops, this amount was doubled during the event, but it's really irrelevant because there's so little that you're better off just farming the M4 loot from other dedicated sources. So just to get this out of the way, out of the 6 Mayhem 4 drops, I got 1 MP5, 1 anointed execute, 1 driver class mod, and 3 death grips with 1 of them anointed. So now let's just focus on the loot that I got during the Farming Frenzy event. So, we already said that the anointed rate for the world drops was 45%. Well, if we take the class mods and artifact out of the total world drop count, we are left with 734 world drops, bringing our anointed chance to 57%. Meaning that more than half of the world drops that can be anointed are anointed, which is not too bad if you ask me. So just by looking at these results for world drops, the question that I'm going to get the most is it worth it to farm Wotan for world drops in general? And my answer to that is a definite no. No, you're much better off farming something else like Agonizer, like I always say Agonizer because he's just so good for world drops, or Grave Ward, depending on how fast you can kill him. The reason for that is because, of course, for Wotan, even though he has a much higher drop rate than both of these guys, it does take forever to get to him because you do have to do the whole raid every single time. So the only reason why you would ever farm for world drops is if you're looking for dedicated drops like the Redistributor or the Kibsworth. Other than that, he is not worth it. So now let's get into the specific number of each dedicated drop. Out of the 92 dedicated drops, 17 were the Kibsworth SMG, and 9 of them were anointed. We had 16 Redistributors with 10 anointed, 22 Moonfire pistols with 12 anointed, 14 Tiggs Boom shotgun with 7 anointed, 16 version 0.M shields with 3 anointed, 2 red card rechargers with 0 anointed, 3 frozen snowshoe shields with 1 anointed, and 2 recharge burners with 0 anointed. I will tell you that there was a significant increase in drop rates for each of these dedicated drops. All of these dropped nearly twice as much as they did before, and the anointed rates for each was also significantly increased. Now let me showcase some of the dedicated drops that I actually kept for myself. So for the Kibsworth, I actually only had one, and it was this one that I kept for myself. It had a 12% magazine regen while clone is active. There was a couple more that were good, but they were ×2 and I only keep the ×3 versions. So now let's talk about the Redistributors. I got this corrosive one with 50% corrosive on next 2 magazines, this shock one with 50% shock damage on next 2 magazines, and this corrosive one with extra radiation damage on ASE. Now for the Moonfire pistol, I got this one with 100% extra damage on ASE, and this one with extra radiation damage for 10 seconds on ASE. For the Tiggs Boom, I got this one with 50% shock on next 2 magazines, and this other one with 100% extra damage after being damaged by Rack Attack. And finally, I got this Nova version 0.M with extra cryo damage on ASE, and this Frozen Snowshoe with 50% cryo on ASE. And that is it. This is all the dedicated loot that I thought was worth keeping for myself after 100 kills. And I do want to let you know that although I only kept these ones that I showed you, there was a lot of really good ones that I got, but I either already had them or I don't plan on ever using them. And I also want to be straight up with you, the drop rates are not terrible. The only issue is that getting the right anointed is such a grind. I think that the anointed dedicated drop rates for Wotan on Mayhem 4 should be increased just a little more. And one more thing that I want to say is that I truly hope that the drop rates remain the same after this event is over. Because even with this event, it still takes hours to get exactly what you want. Grinding for those anointments take forever. Sometimes you don't even get what you're looking for even after hours or even days of farming. So if they decide to revert the changes back to the way they were after the event is over, I personally believe, and I think a lot of you agree, that a lot of people, or maybe some of you that are watching the video, will either quit the game or take a long needed break from it. Because this game is just not going to be fun to go back to the old farming rates. So anyways guys, tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and feel free to share your viewpoint on all of this. I'm really interested to see what you guys think about the current drop rates and what you think about them in comparison to what it was in the past. Are you still going to keep playing if they revert it back, or are you going to take a break? And before I end this video guys, I also wanted to let you guys know that this was all done on True Vault Hunter mode Mayhem 4, and I didn't have a luck artifact or a loaded dice artifact. I also don't have any guardian ranks unlocked. And finally, this was done throughout like 5 days, so I didn't do this in 1 day, 2 days. It took me about 5 days. I took breaks and all that. So for anyone that has a conspiracy of save quitting and starting the game the next day has different drop rates, well, There you go. Even though there's literally no conspiracy. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe for more content. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.